The phrase means living so honestly and uprightly that you have nothing to be ashamed of even in the most hidden places, as if a small rooftop opening, a skylight, could reveal your actions. It implies moral clarity and inner integrity, behaving rightly not for applause, but because your conscience would remain untroubled even where few eyes can see. Skylight. Alex lived in a narrow apartment on the 5th floor, where the building's old skylight threw a flat square of light onto the kitchen table every morning. It was not dramatic light. It was the kind you only notice when you wash a mug, when dust motes slow down as if they're deciding whether to keep floating. For Alex, the skylight had become a private meter of sorts, not of surveillance, but of honesty. At work, Alex managed content for a neighborhood app, a simple platform where locals recommended plumbers, mended bikes, or posted lost and found notices. The job was small in scope, but large in consequence. A misplaced recommendation could cost someone money. A careless endorsement could send business to someone unfit. It was easy to shrug and forward a press release as a trusted pick. It was easier still to inflate user numbers in a report to please the sales team. The easier path offered short, warm approval. The harder path meant reading 5 reviews, asking follow-up questions, and sometimes saying no. Alex chose the harder path more often than not. Not because anyone watched, but because the skylight in the kitchen reminded them of how small private choices add up. When nobody watched, the story of who you are still unfolded in the corners of your life. One evening, a delivery driver left a tablet on the office bench, still logged into the app's admin panel. It would have taken 30 seconds to skim the dashboard, find metrics worth exaggerating, and submit a glossier report. Alex paused with a thumb over the tablet screen. The light from the street lamps felt like a skylight then thin. Indifferent witness. They locked the device, left a note with the driver's number, and logged the incident in the support ticket system so it could not be spun into rumor later. People noticed the results of Alex's decisions in tiny increments. A plumber who had been truthfully vetted arrived on time. A family's post about a missing cat reached the right people because the post was prioritized for locality, not for clicks. The app's community blog grew steady and trusted. The company's leadership brought in flashy consultants who recommended growth at any cost tactics. Alex listened and objected. Not in a dramatic speech, but in an email that laid out risks with calm clarity. The tactic would have doubled numbers for a quarter and eroded trust for years. The suggestion was dismissed then. Months later, when a misuse scandal hit another platform, the leadership read Alex's file and quietly agreed that slow trust was better than fast applause. Outside work, Alex's choices were equally modest. On the subway, they picked up wrappers left on the seat and placed them into the trash. At the corner market, they corrected a cashier who had given too much change back to someone else, even though the extra money would have been a small windfall. These were not heroic acts. They were corrections. A habit of aligning action with principle. Friends sometimes teased Alex for being old-fashioned. Alex would only smile. The skylight does not take selfies. There were tests. A neighbor asked Alex to quietly endorse a service in exchange for free tickets to a show. Alex declined and explained why they could not. The neighbor's face registered annoyance, then something softer, an odd respect. Perhaps. Or understanding that not every favor is worth a small compromise of values. Years passed and the apartment's skylight gathered new patina. Someone had cleaned it once and the light sharpened for a few mornings. Alex moved to a bigger role with more visibility. But the private habits persisted. In meetings, they resisted applause-seeking shortcuts. In product briefings, they insisted on honest disclaimers and straightforward user consent. Colleagues began to echo that steadiness. It was not flashy leadership. It was contagious. One late Sunday, Alex made tea and left the mug by the window where the skylight let in a rectangle of afternoon light. They sat down with a notebook and wrote down small decisions they had made over the years, the times they had chosen the harder, quieter path. The list was neither long nor complete, but it read like a ledger of a life that did not need polishing for public view. That ledger, Alex realized, was the daily measure of integrity. The lesson was simple. Being unashamed in private is not about hiding righteousness like a secret trophy. It is about shaping a life where the private and the public are not at war. The skylight, whether literal or metaphorical, only revealed what was already true. Living without shame required no spotlight, only the willingness to choose the right thing when it was quiet. Alex closed the notebook, rinsed the mug, and set it back beneath the skylight. The dust motes drifted. Outside, the city moved with its usual mixture of carelessness and tenderness. Inside, the light stayed steady. Alex felt neither pride nor relief so much as quiet continuation. Another day, another small choice that would add to the ledger. The skylight saw nothing spectacular. It did not need to. Conscience, the inner sense that guides right and wrong. I listened to my conscience and returned the wallet I found. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. Her integrity made her decisions predictable and respected. Scrutiny, close and critical observation or examination. The project passed scrutiny because the team documented every step. Transparency, the practice of being open, honest, and straightforward. The company improved customer trust by increasing transparency about its data use. Unobserved, not seen by anyone. He behaved the same way whether he was observed or unobserved. Steadfast, resolutely firm, and unwavering. She remained steadfast in her values despite pressure to conform. Virtue, moral excellence, or goodness. Small acts of virtue can change the tone of a community. Accountability, being responsible for one's actions and open to consequences. Good leaders create systems of accountability, not just rules. Demeanor, outward behavior, or bearing. His calm demeanor helped de-escalate the argument. Revelation, a surprising and enlightening disclosure. The revelation that tiny choices matter changed how I planned my days. Humility, a modest view of one's importance. Her humility made room for others to speak and grow.